We all need to write for our jobs, whether that's emails or it's reports or it's social media, maybe something more persuasive, but not all of us are very good at writing. And so in this Word Made Digital tutorial, we're going to be giving 10 tips or 10 filters to bring your writing through to improve your writing in 2023. Hi, my friends. Welcome to Word Made Digital Tutorials. I'm Joanna LaFleur, and in this Word Made Digital tutorial, we're talking about writing or copywriting, how to improve the writing you do for others to read in a way that feels more clear, persuasive, compelling, and honestly, just more of a delight to read that doesn't confuse the person who's receiving it. So thank you so much to the Canadian Centre for Christian Charities who are making this whole tutorial possible. We have a whole series of tutorials here on our YouTube channel and also wherever you may be watching this, and we would love for you to check them out. We have this back catalog all given to you by the Canadian Centre for Christian Charities in order to help you be better at your work in charity and in church in Canada and beyond. So we hope these tutorials help you. More on the Canadian Centre for Christian Charities below, and also we're going to talk about them later in this episode. So let's dive into what we're talking about here, copywriting and how to be better at copywriting this year. The number one thing to make you a better writer is to know who you're writing to. Know your audience. Are you writing to fellow staff? Are you writing to people who are wildly committed to your cause? Are you writing to your congregation? Are you writing to people who are Christians? Are you writing to people who are not Christians? Are they young? Are they old? Who are you writing to? If you don't know, and it could be lots of different people, consider making an archetype, making a meme character who you might be writing to. If you write for that person, you're going to be more compelling, more clear, and more straightforward with how you're trying to talk to that person specifically. Of course, writing to different people, whether we're writing to our grandma or writing to a customer, those are different things. So we want to be very clear from the start on who are we talking to. Know your audience, and if it's unclear, decide for yourself on the kind of person you are writing to. Make that person an archetype and write for them. Number 2, allocate the right amount of time to different parts of the writing process. Planning should take 50% of your time. And then you probably want to take maybe 20% to draft and then 30% of your time to actually edit. Notice how little of your time is actually spent in the writing process. If you plan for half your time that you've allocated up front, if you spend 30 minutes planning and 10 minutes writing and then another few minutes editing, you'll notice quickly how much better your writing will be. So make sure you plan and plan to edit as well. Filter number 3 you can use for your writing is never write more than 7 sentences per paragraph. And if you want something really punchy for your copywriting, use a 1-sentence paragraph. Now, this doesn't always apply if you're writing essays in a different kind of format, but what we're talking about is copywriting. That is writing for a reader. You're trying to compel, trying to engage in what you're describing, the storytelling of your work, the trying to get them in and buy into what you're doing. If you're doing that, you want to make sure you're short, pithy paragraphs are the way to go. And don't be afraid to use a 1-sentence paragraph. Whether you're writing for emails or you're writing for customers or you're writing for social media, headings and white space are your friend. It helps organize the text, and people who are quickly scanning through what you're saying, it helps them to pull out what's most important and go back and read it. We're all busy. We all don't have a lot of time. The more you can organize your writing visually, the more it's going to help the reader connect with what you're saying, grab onto it, and be compelled by what you're writing about. So those headings are key. White space, that's where those 1-sentence paragraphs can really come in handy. And don't be afraid to use white space and bullet points and all those subheadings, the ways to organize your writing in a way that other people can quickly scan, read through, understand, and be convinced by. Cut to the chase. Don't start sentences with there is ... or there are ... Get right away to what you're trying to say. Say it and be done with it. Number 6, I can't emphasize this enough, avoid jargon. That is, do you have industry or charity or church insider language. Avoid that jargon as much as possible when you're trying to talk to people, especially people who might not be insiders to what you're talking about. And that's where it's so key when we go back to talking about know our audience, that first tip. Avoiding jargon means that more people are going to be clear about what you're talking about, and you're not using acronyms and insider language that might exclude people and just frankly confuse them and have them stop reading what you're writing. Number 7, be confident in what you're writing. Ums, ahs, maybes, it would be great ifs. Instead of I think, I wonder, go to I recommend. Be strong and direct in what you're saying, and it will compel the reader. Number 8, use short, staccato words to compel your reader. If you can say it with less words, a shorter word, a punchier word, do it. Number 9, start where it's easiest. It might not actually be the first sentence or the first paragraph. If you know the body of what you're trying to say, but you're not sure how to start it, well, just start there. Once you get in the flow of writing, it may become obvious later what you should say first. But that goes back to what I said about planning and then writing and then editing. If you plan it out, you might want to start in the middle and get something out of the way that really just gets you in the flow, gets you clear on the meat of what you're trying to say, and then you can go back later and edit in or revise in the punchy start, the punchy end, whatever that needs to be. Don't be afraid to start in the middle. All right, and finally, number 10, find someone who can edit your work and give honest feedback and critique on what you have written. If you're writing something that is for other people and writing something for a lot of people or for something that really matters, this is more true than ever. You need an editor outside yourself for anything that matters. We all do, whether we're a seasoned writer or we're new at this. We all need to be edited and filtered by somebody else. So we hope these 10 tips, these 10 filters that I've given you here, or these 10 checklist items are going to help you be better at writing this year. There are so many ways that we can be more compelling at our writing, but also just be better at our professional work entirely. But we can't possibly be experts at everything. And that's why the Canadian Centre for Christian Charities, or 4Cs as you may know them, are here. They come alongside you like an extension of your staff team with expertise on all kinds of issues, like maybe it's policy governance or HR issues, or maybe you're wondering about tax, or you're wondering about all kinds of things that you may not be an expert at in your church or charity in Canada. They come alongside as a partner with that expertise. Now, if you feel like you're new at charity work in Canada, and that includes churches, or maybe you just need a brush up on what is it about charity in Canada that makes it both compelling, but also makes it viable with the government, makes you in good standing to make sure you're not going to lose your charitable status. Well, we have all kinds of workshops for you available on the Canadian Centre for Christian Charities website, and I would love for you to check it out. All right, so I want you to go to cccc.org/free. Why? Because Canadian Centre for Christian Charities has all kinds of free resources for you, and including a workshop all about how to maintain your charitable status in Canada. You might not realize your church or charity might be in violation of some things until it's too late. That's why 4Cs is there to support you with all the things you didn't know and didn't need to know. They're there as a friend on the end of the line trying to support you. So check out the link in the show notes. Thanks so much to 4Cs for making this tutorial and this whole series of tutorials possible. We hope that these tutorials are helping you, and we know you can't be an expert at everything. So whether it's copywriting, websites, social media, anything to do with crisis communication, we have all kinds of resources here for you. You can check out, and we hope we'll see you on the next tutorial.